Hello story lovers, and welcome back to our channel. Today, we're diving into a tale sparkling with magic and wonder. Once upon a time, in a meadow bathed in perpetual twilight, lived a unicorn named Elara. Her coat was the color of fresh snow, and her horn spiraled with iridescent light, casting rainbows wherever she went. But Elara was lonely. She was the only unicorn in her enchanted glade, and she yearned for a friend. One evening, while chasing a mischievous moonbeam, she noticed something peculiar. The moonbeam didn't just dance on the leaves. It seemed to slip right through the trunk of an ancient gnarled willow tree. Curiosity sparked in Elara's heart. She had passed this tree 1,000 times, but never had she seen such a thing. Hesitantly, she nudged the rough bark with her nose. Instead of solid wood, her nose passed through the trunk, as if it were a shimmering curtain of water. A gasp escaped her. Taking a deep breath, Elara closed her eyes and stepped forward. She didn't feel a crash, but a gentle tingling sensation, like stepping into cool mist. When she opened her eyes again, she was no longer in her familiar meadow. She stood at the edge of a bustling, vibrant world she never knew existed. Towering mushrooms glowed with a soft, internal light, serving as street lamps for a town built among the roots of giant trees. And everywhere she looked, there were animals, talking. "Mind the moss, dearie." A badger in a tiny apron grumbled, sweeping his doorstep with a twig broom. "Just polished it this morning." A squirrel wearing a cap made of an acorn zipped past her on a vine, shouting, "Market's closing soon." "The last of the sun-ripened berries are going fast." Elara was completely stunned. A young fox with bright, intelligent eyes and spectacles perched on his nose trotted over. "You're new here," he stated, not unkindly. "I'm Finley. Welcome to Whisperwood Hollow." "You look a bit lost." Elara finally found her voice. I am," she stammered. "My name is Elara. I live in the meadow just beyond the willow. I never knew any of this was here." Finley smiled warmly. "The willow is a gateway, one of many. It only reveals itself to those with a truly pure heart and a desire for companionship. And it seems, Elara, you were just what Whisperwood Hollow was waiting for." He explained that Whisperwood Hollow was a sanctuary, a secret place where animals could live in peace and harmony, hidden from the outside world. They had built a community, sharing stories, trading goods, and celebrating life together. But they had always heard legends of a unicorn, a creature of pure magic, who would one day visit them. Elara's heart swelled with a joy she had never known. She wasn't lonely anymore. Finley introduced her to everyone. There was Beatrice, the wise old owl who was the town's librarian, her library carved into the side of a giant oak. There was Barnaby, the cheerful bear who ran the Honeycake Bakery, his creations famous throughout the hollow. Elara spent her days exploring every nook and cranny of this magical world. She learned to play hide-and-seek with the rabbit children in the clover fields, listened to Beatrice's enchanting stories of ancient times, and helped Barnaby gather the sweetest nectar for his cakes. Her rainbow-casting horn became a source of wonder and delight for the residents. She would create light shows in the evening, painting the sky with colors the animals had never seen before. But one day, a shadow fell over Whisperwood Hollow. The great river, which flowed through the town and nourished their crops and glowing flora, began to dry up. The mushroom lamps dimmed, the plants began to wilt, and a worried silence replaced the usual cheerful chatter. Beatrice the owl called a town meeting. Her voice was grave. "The heartstone of the river has lost its light," she announced. "It's an ancient crystal at the river's source, high in the Crystal Mountains. Its magic keeps the water flowing. Something has drained its power." Fear rippled through the crowd. The Crystal Mountains were treacherous and guarded by tricky sprites and illusions. No one had dared to journey there in generations. But Elara stepped forward, her horn glowing with determination. "I will go," she said, her voice clear and strong. "You have all shown me what it means to have a community, to have friends. I won't let your home fade away." Finley the fox immediately stood by her side. "And you won't go alone," he declared. "Your magic is powerful, but you'll need a guide who knows the paths and puzzles of the mountains. I'll go with you," And so, the unlikely duo, the magical unicorn and the clever fox, set off on their perilous quest. Their journey was filled with challenges. They navigated confusing mazes of rock and mist, created by mischievous sprites who tried to lead them astray. Finley's sharp wit and knowledge of ancient riddles helped them solve the sprites' tricks, while Elara's light cut through the darkest illusions, revealing the true path forward. Finally, they reached the summit and found the Cave of the Heartstone. Inside, the massive crystal, once bright enough to light up the entire mountain, was now a dull gray rock. Coiled around it was a creature made of shadow and doubt, a gloomfang which fed on positive energy and light. It had been drawn to the Heartstone's immense power and was slowly draining it dry. The gloomfang hissed, its formless body twisting. "More light to consume. You should have stayed in your cozy little hollow." Fear pricked at Elara, but she looked at Finley, who gave her a nod of encouragement. She remembered the laughter of the rabbit children and the taste of Barnaby's honey cakes. She thought of the kindness she had found. Her loneliness was gone, replaced by a fierce love for her new friends. That love was the purest magic of all. Elara lowered her head, and focusing all her feelings of friendship, joy, and hope, she unleashed a brilliant beam of pure, concentrated light from her horn. It wasn't just a rainbow. It was the essence of happiness itself. The gloomfang shrieked as the light hit it. It couldn't stand such purity and positivity. It dissolved into a puff of gray smoke, vanishing completely. Elara then gently touched her horn to the Heartstone. Her magic flowed into it, reigniting its inner fire. The crystal pulsed, and a brilliant blue light filled the cave. Moments later, they heard a roar. It was the sound of rushing water. The great river was flowing again. Their return to Whisperwood Hollow was met with a massive celebration. The mushroom lamps glowed brighter than ever, the flowers bloomed in an instant, and the air was filled with cheers. Elara was no longer just a visitor. She was a hero, a cherished member of their family. From that day on, Elara divided her time. She would spend her nights in her twilight meadow, but her days were filled with the warmth and laughter of Whisperwood Hollow. The Willow Gateway remained open, a bridge between her two worlds. Elara, the unicorn who was once so lonely, had found her true home, not in a place, but in the hearts of the friends she loved. And that's where our story ends for today. A beautiful reminder that friendship is the greatest magic of all. Thank you so much for joining me on this wonderful adventure. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button, and don't forget to subscribe for more magical tales. Until next time, stay curious and keep dreaming.